This week marks International Homeless Animal Day, and in an effort to get more pets into homes, a special adoption event is going to be held this weekend. And with me now to speak more about this is Jessica Gerke, the Public Relations Director of the Helen Woodward Animal Center. Thank you so much for being here. And first off, you've got somebody special right in front of you. Who is this?
I brought like the most perfect dog. Her name is Ellie. She's 14 weeks old, little female, and of course she's spayed, microchipped, up to date on all her vaccinations, and she's here representing all the homeless animals all over the country and why they're having this special day.
And where did she come from?
She came from Oklahoma, and you know, Helen Woodward pulls about 95% of our animals come from shelters all over the country, and in particular places where euthanasia is extremely high. And there's actually a very small section of the country where the majority of euthanasia takes place. We try to pull from there and save these lives.
She's such a good dog, so mellow.
Isn't she? She's going to be a great family dog. And so, of course, International Homeless Animals Day was started in 1992 by the International Society of Animal Rights, which it's really important for people who care about animals that, you know, so much of why these animals are treated well, the reason there are shelters and rescues is because of laws that have been passed. So Assembly Member Brian Manshine is going to be down with us on Saturday morning with this adoption event. And I think it's so important because if you really do care about what's happening in the world of animal welfare, talking to your assemblymen, talking to your government, and passing these laws, making sure these animals are taken care of is so crucial.
Talk about the message behind International Homeless Animal Day, really.
Yeah, they're really talking about that day was specifically started to talk about the overabundance of animals and that spaying and neutering was so important, as well as making sure that they're getting into shelters. And of course, once they go into beautiful shelters, it's required, at least in California, that they're spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, kept healthy, and put into loving homes. It helps with the overpopulation problem. It makes sure that they're treated well. And so, of course, we really want to make sure that we're bringing in as many in as we can, getting the procedure taken for all of them, and making sure that they have a really happy life.
I know you don't mind sharing camera time with her. So
not at all. Not at all. Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah, she is. What needs to change in your opinion?
Well, I mean, of course, one of the things I think is kind of amazing, social media has lots of highs and lows and goods and bads about it, but I do think it has really helped spread the message of the fact that adoption is so crucial to help with the animals. I mean, I remember even when I started 13 years ago, there were about 3.4 million animals that lost their lives in this country every year. Now it's down to 1.8. It's still way too many millions of animals that are dying, but the more that message is out there, the more people are getting animals spayed and neutered, and the more people are adopting, the more we're going to save these lives. And on Saturday, if you come down, not only is Assemblymember Brian Manshine going to be there and taking pictures and encouraging people to come down, we're going to have half-price adoption fees. That's going to go on for the rest of the year. We're really trying to get as many animals adopted this year as possible. We're going to have some enter-to-wins and giveaways, but mostly we're going to be trying to find loving homes for these beautiful creatures.
Can you talk about the sheer numbers that you're hoping to get adopted?
You know, we would love to get, over the weekends, if we can get 50, 60 adopted, that's always amazing for us. I mean, we try to get about 3,000 animals saved through our shelter every single year. This has been a really rough year. We've talked about it. Across the country, we're getting calls. It is really challenging. I think the things that are happening in the world of finance as well as politics, people feel a little unstable this year, and bringing a new animal home has been harder. So we're getting calls from across the country of people begging us to take these animals, make sure that they're not euthanized, and so we're trying to do everything we can.
Has the severe weather been a factor? Because I know sometimes it happens with like tornadoes and such, where these pets get lost or displaced, and the shelters are overrun. So you guys sort of step in. Can you talk about that?
Well, that's so interesting that you bring that up, because I don't know if you remember the Maui fires last year, but we're still pulling animals from Maui. In fact, we had a big arrival the other night because, of course, they're still trying to rebuild over there, and so few people are able to adopt and bring a new family member in if they don't even have their homes rebuilt. So yes, when we see hurricanes, we're pulling from there. When we see major storms and flooding, we're trying to pull from there because we know those shelters a lot of time are completely overrun with animals, and if we can get them out here in sunny San Diego, where the weather's almost always good, we have a better opportunity to find them loving homes.
Sure, in some cases they're even flooded out, so they've actually lost the ability to care for the pets, right?
Well, that's absolutely true. In fact, that's one thing that's important to say, is that we're always pulling from shelters that are maybe underwater or have had problems. We're never pulling from the streets where maybe somebody lost their pet during the flood or during the fire. In fact, we want to open up the shelters, if they're still available, to keep animals there until people can find their animals and their pets.
Why is it so important to do this right now, this particular time?
I mean, this year, I'm telling you, I've been in this industry now for 13 years. I know people have been in it longer than I have. This is the worst I've ever seen it. I really do believe in it, and I know if you talk to any of the shelters around here or across the country, they're saying the same thing. Just fewer people adopting. I really think it's economics are challenging right now. People are really dealing with gas prices and grocery prices, and so to bring in a new family member is a little bit harder. But I'm telling you, the lifetime of love these animals give, the joy. I mean, I will never be without a pet in my life ever since I brought them into my home. There's just too much happiness that they give me. They really do bring me a sense of comfort, and I guarantee that when somebody falls in love with a pet, their lives will change.
Well, it's easy to fall in love with her.
Yes, it is. Ellie
Absolutely.
says, please come and get me.
Yeah, and again, details very quickly about the event this weekend.
Come on down on Saturday, 10 a.m. We're opening the doors. Half-price adoptions, enter to wins. Assemblymember Brian Manchin is going to be there to say hello and take pictures with people, and we really do hope we see a lot of the county out there enjoying these beautiful pets.
Absolutely. Jessica Gerke, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck. Good luck.
Yes.
Okay, somebody take Ellie home. There you go.